There's a handful of anticipated games on the horizon, and the three of us are long overdue for catching up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 265 of the It's Obvious podcast. My name's Garrett Drake, and I'm joined online by Jacob Alka.
Good evening, boys. How you been?
And Preston Pugh.
Good evening.
Back again, gentlemen. Doesn't even matter. It's not even worth mentioning how long it's been. I think it's been since October, which isn't totally drastic, but certainly significant for us. I know I've seen you both individually. Gosh, my phone's blowing up. I got to mute this one sec. I've seen you both individually over the last several months, but I've not seen you together from what I recall. Have we all been together?
Nope.
Okay, that's a shame. Yeah, it's great to hear your voices again. I've missed you both, but glad to be able to hang out here and there in the meantime. But yeah, plenty to catch up on, especially games related. We won't be too long-winded, but I'd love to hear from you guys. Just what you've been up to since October, family, friends, work, video games, anything you feel like filling in the audience on. Love to hear it.
I got COVID.
First time or second time?
First time.
Nice. How'd you feel about it? Did you get Omicron or Delta? I guess it was Omicron.
I don't know.
Recent.
I got one of them.
Nice. What were your symptoms like?
So, went to work Friday, came back sort of towards the later end of the evening. Noticed my throat was a little sore. I was like, probably just have a cough. I didn't think anything about it. Went to bed, woke up the next day. I woke up and I was sweating. I still had a sore throat. My every hole in my face was clogged. I was like, oh great. I probably have COVID, but I didn't want to freak out. But I thought okay, maybe I should go get a test. And this happened last Friday. So at this point, everyone is getting COVID right now, as I'm sure you guys know. And I tried to get a test and I literally couldn't get a test until, when did I go? Tuesday. And it was Saturday morning. They were that booked up and you can't just go in and you can't walk in and get tests anymore because they're so backed up and there's just not enough tests to go around. So I had to wait until then. So I haven't worked since last Friday. So I'm going to be going back tomorrow for the first time. And basically I took a week off, which was good and bad. Good in the sense where I've had some time to just not do anything. I've sort of been resting, which I kind of needed because I don't really give myself enough rest anymore. I don't sleep enough at night. And I really just work really hard. And I'm also at the gym a lot. So I kind of always feel exhausted. So I noticed this week that I've been getting more rest and I actually feel much better. Just not even just in terms of my sickness, but just physically and mentally, I feel good. So
it's amazing what the basic necessities of life are, like water and sleep.
Yeah.
How powerful they actually are when you respect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I've certainly neglected sleep over the last several years myself. And in times where I do get good sleep, I can relate to you feeling good.
Mm-hmm. But it's been bad in the sense where besides Tuesday and today, today's the first day where I haven't been quarantined. So I actually left the house, went to go to the gym, got some food somewhere, and that was great. But besides Tuesday, from Saturday till Wednesday, I was completely in this room that you see me in right now. And I was losing my mind in the sense where I was just so bored. I had nothing to do.
Dang, dude. I was going to say silver lining is you got plenty of time for games when you're down with COVID.
You would think that, but I was just not in the mood to play. There was no games that I wanted to play. The games that I was playing, I was just getting kind of bored of this. I want to do something else. Then I'd go watch a show for a little bit. And then I'd be like, okay, I'm kind of bored of this. Now I want to go play a game again. And I just be a constant cycle of that repetition. And then, every once in a while I'd pop open a book to do something different. But like I said, it was good and bad. Also, it was bad in the sense where I just felt horrible. I have not felt this sick in a very long time. Probably since I was in middle school. This virus kicked my ass. I had the worst headache ever. I had body aches. I was freezing for 3 days. There was one day where I didn't even get out of bed. I just stayed in bed all day. It was terrible. Just
full-blown fever.
Yeah.
Did you lose your taste and smell at all?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm still, just today, I've been starting to taste things a little more. Yeah. Still can't really smell things well, but hopefully that'll come back, Lord willing.
Man.
Yeah, it hasn't been fun. I don't recommend, getting the virus. Do everything you can not to get it, please.
I know Preston and I both had it back in the day. I had it in almost a year ago, February of 2021. I had it. Thank the Lord I haven't had it since, but it was not fun. For the first 48 hours, it was pretty brutal for me too.
Yeah.
And after that, I suffered from just a loss of taste and smell for about 2 weeks, which really, honestly, was the worst part for me.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you lived to tell the tale, Jacob, because it certainly is different for everyone. So
it seems like
congrats on recovering.
Thank you. Seems like this new variant's not as potent as the other ones I've been hearing. So maybe I lucked out in getting it this late.
Yeah, besides my losing taste and smell, I wouldn't have even known I had it unless I got tested. It did nothing to me.
Lucky you.
That's what's the most bizarre thing about COVID is it really is different for everyone. Zach had a coworker. Now, granted, he had some underlying health issues, but he caught COVID and was dead within a week and a half. It killed him. It blew my mind when I heard that story. Because I had met the guy a month prior. I didn't know him or anything, but it was just kind of eerie having met someone and then a month later. And he was cheery and a super down-to-earth nice guy when I met him. And a month later, he was gone. Just crazy to me.
The guy that gave it to me almost died. He actually had a stroke or something soon after. I think it was due to him taking something to thin his blood as well or something. But he was extremely overweight, not healthy in the slightest. But yeah, it kicked his butt and almost got him. But man, this is such a happy way to start off the podcast.
Yeah, it's been 6 months, guys. What's up? Well, we almost died.
Hey, you asked me what's been going on. This is what I've been dealing with, man.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, Jacob. That's great news. What about you, Preston? What's the latest with you? Within the last 2 weeks, if we're talking about that, I was going to ask you about just how your 2021 was, how you feel going into 2022 from both of you. Anyway.
Mine was fine. I really don't have too much to say. I was basically in Houston, Texas, the majority of the end of last year, pretty much from September through December. So I was just out there for work, and then I came back, went on a cruise right before Christmas, and then did Christmas, and here I am. That's pretty much it.
Nice.
Where'd your cruise go?
We went down to the Bahamas, Nassau, I believe. But
what are some of the highlights of that trip?
The highlights, the cruise itself was very fun. Just kind of exploring the ship. There were some pretty good shows. We went to a ice skating show that was very impressive considering you're on a boat that's moving.
I was just thinking that. That's crazy.
It's very impressive, but that was pretty cool. Then we went to a few comedy shows and went to a Harry Potter trivia night thing. That was pretty fun.
Oh, that'd have been awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. We came in second place with 5 other people. So the one question we got wrong was we got one wrong out of all of them, and it was what was Harry's birthday. And I know now it's July 31st, but I did not know that at the time.
Dang. Yeah, that's a deep cut for sure.
Yeah. But so we did that. Then we went to Nassau, and we went on an excursion to some beach called Blue Lagoon, I believe. And
did you think of Black Flag the whole time you were doing this?
No, surprisingly not. No.
Oh, I would have thought about it the whole time.
The island was pretty cool, though. We saw some sea lions and dolphins, and those were really cool to see, kind of work and stuff. I didn't know sea lions could be trained as well as they were, dude. They were waving and blowing kisses and doing flips and stuff. It was pretty crazy. So that was cool. Nassau, not the biggest fan of. The second we kind of walked in, out of the cruise area, we were being bombarded with people trying to sell us stuff. Some guy put a bracelet on me and then said I had to pay for it, and then accused me of stealing it. So I ripped it off and threw it back at him. So it was not a big fan of that. So we only really were actually in Nassau for 20 minutes. and then went back to the boat. Then we went to Royal Caribbean's private island called Coco Bay, and they had like a actual like water park there and beaches and stuff. So that was a really cool place to be. But it was very cold. Like it was in like the 50s the entire time we were there. Yeah, so it was like freezing. So that wasn't completely ideal, but nonetheless, still had a lot of fun. Probably my main complaint is that I got the beverage package like for soda, so we got like I got unlimited like drinks the entire time from those Coke Freestyle machines, and the entire boat, the entire thing only had 3 machines, which is
on an entire cruise ship.
On an entire cruise ship, there's 3, which is just insane. So of course I would go to one and it would be out. So I'd like go all the way to like the 11th floor of this place. That one would be out. So I'd end up having to like go to a bar and have them just fill it up and stuff. So that was not ideal at all. And one of the restaurants that we got to eat at was not very good either, which surprised me because it had like a bunch of fancy dishes and stuff, and it just wasn't that good. But everything else was pretty good. But yeah, besides it, overall, it was very fun, and I definitely want to go on another one. That's another one at some point. So
I was thinking about everything you shared. You're like, oh yeah, it was freezing cold. I got harassed in Nassau. They were always out of soda, but it was really sick. I want to go on another one.
I had a lot of fun. I definitely want to go on a Disney one next for sure.
Yeah, I keep hearing Disney's Disney does everything nearly perfectly, so I'm not surprised. But
yeah,
I'd love to go on a cruise someday. It
was good to my girlfriend. This was like she's been to several cruises, so it was good to go with somebody that's kind of like a pro, because I would have been lost like the entire time there, just not knowing like what to do, where to go, or anything. But yeah, it was a good time. Then so that was probably the highlight of my Christmas. And then of course Monday with Georgia winning the Natty. I still haven't come down from that high. I'm still just happy enough to where I can pass on now and feel fulfilled. So yeah, it's been a good past couple of weeks for sure.
I still can't believe they won. Like they've lost to Alabama so many times and they just finally won. Like it just doesn't feel real.
Yeah, I know. It took me like the whole next day. I was just like still in a state of shock. So yeah, man.
I know it means the most to you because you've just been so dedicated and passionate about the team and kept up with just every little detail with them over the last several years. And I've still cared about Georgia, but I haven't kept up as adamantly as I did in high school. But it was still cool to see him win after all these years. So,
yeah, I mean, I've been obsessive to a probably unhealthy degree, especially the past like 7 years, where I pay monthly subscriptions for 3 different websites for like exclusive like form access and stuff to keep up to date with like recruiting and stuff. So I've every single day I'm reading stuff, even in the off season, and I'm just like heavily involved with keeping up with everything. And so yeah, this was a moment I've been waiting for a very, very, very long time. And yeah, it's incredible. Then of course I proceeded to spend so much money. I don't want to add it all up on like everything from t-shirts to newspapers to posters to a signed best thing I got was I ordered a signed football with like the schedule on it with Kirby Smart signed it. So I'm very excited to eventually get that. But
I tried to get one of the shirts on the college football website.
Yeah.
And they sold out so quick. Like I couldn't get one in time.
I got 2 from there. Check out Fanatics. They still have stuff there. So I got 2 from that side and then a couple on Fanatics.
That's where I got my Braves stuff when they won the World Series, but I got so annoyed with them because they would email me all the time. And I had to unsubscribe from their emails twice for some reason.
Yeah, I understand. I buy a lot of stuff from Fanatics and I get a lot of emails too. But yeah man, just with the Braves to win and then Georgia to win, right after.
What a
It was
year.
just pretty incredible. So I actually got a Braves shirt for Christmas, which I'm a
I did too.
very, very fair weather Braves fan. So I almost feel guilty having
Same.
one. But I was very involved in that final, the playoffs and stuff. I watched every game, so
Yeah.
it was exciting to see.
I'm pretty fair weather for anything but the Falcons. Honestly, they're the only thing that I really watch consistently. So
I think it's fair to say Atlanta sports curse is broken now, for sure.
For sure, yeah.
With Braves winning and Georgia especially. Because I know Atlanta United, not so much now, but Atlanta United, when they first came around, did really well. And now all we need is the Falcons to have redemption, however long that's going to be. But
give them a couple years.
It is cool to see two Georgia-based teams win in the same years. Pretty wild.
Oh,
Yeah.
So them and the Hogs seem to be doing really well also. I know they came down to they were in the finals last year, weren't they?
No, they're in the semifinals,
Okay.
Eastern Conference Finals. They lost to the eventual champs.
Maybe they'll do it this year.
I wouldn't doubt it. They're not very good. they're kind of struggling.
I haven't kept up. I just keep hearing.
I heard they started off
remember his
pretty
name.
good, but fell apart.
They just kind of, I don't know. They don't have good defense from what I've seen. I kind of follow them on Twitter, and they always just seem to be behind 10 points every quarter. Because every quarter they'll like post the score, and they'll be like, second quarter stats, blah blah blah, and they'll just be behind 10 points. Then like they'll finish the game behind 10 or 20. I just noticed that they consistently lose games. So then I know Trae Young was out for a while, so they lost a lot of games. But I don't know. I don't keep up with them too much.
Well, I am going to the award ceremony on Saturday in Athens. I got my my tickets about 2 hours ago.
What's the award ceremony?
I don't exactly know what it is. I know it's sold out already, which is kind of wild, but I guess they're just gonna... I know they have the field painted different, like they have the championship logo in the middle, and I guess they'll just like... I don't even know. I guess show the trophy off and stuff. I know there's a parade about an hour before that, so we're gonna go down for that as well. So
That's awesome, man.
yeah, should be
Have a good time.
Yeah, a couple of the
I
guys
hope
I
so.
work with are going. Yeah, three of the guys. I was out of town when Georgia won, and three of the guys I was working with are Georgia grads, and two of them played in the marching band. So it meant a lot to them as well, seeing Georgia win. So they're going to go this weekend. So that should be cool.
That's cool.
Nice. You guys want to talk about some video games?
If I have to.
Yeah, I guess
We
so.
can do that.
I'll get mine out of the way since I don't even remember anything that I've played. But
So
just
nothing.
pretty much. Being in Houston and stuff, I mainly just brought my Switch because I could not bring my
Yeah.
PlayStation. It was it's just such a pain in the butt to fly with that thing. So I kind of got tired of it after about the first two times. Especially I would bring it and not even play it, so it definitely wasn't worth it. So I ended up buying an OLED Switch.
Did you?
Yeah,
I got one for my cousin for Christmas.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I have my uncle bought one, and we kind of lined ours up, and the screen, just like the blacks especially, just looked so much better in the OLED one. I was actually really impressed. So I saw one just in the wild and just kind of bought it on, in the moment. So I've been playing a lot more Switch, mainly just like Pokemon Pearl and
Nice.
Blasphemous, which is a little Metroidvania game. That's pretty fun. But for the most part, I think kind of that's what I've been playing. I got back into Deathloop there for a little bit, and I think I'm almost done with Deathloop, but I was really enjoying that as well once I actually got back into it. But yeah, mainly just Pearl. And I have to say, I don't like it. It's very nostalgic because that was like on, I remember buying my original DS and getting getting Diamond with it. So I'm super nostalgic for it. The starter I picked was Piplup as well, so I picked Piplup again in this playthrough. And like I said, very nostalgic, but it's just I wish they would have done it more of like how they did Omega Ruby or Let's Go kind of made it more 3D. It just feels really dated with like the chibi style. Like I'm playing like a really old game, and it's just I don't know, it's just not good.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I'm still enjoying it. Like it's a fine thing to kind of play while I'm watching sports or listening to a podcast or just in a hotel room, kind of decompress.
Yeah.
So that, and when I want to play something a little more hardcore, I play Shin Megami Tensei 5, which is a couldn't be more of a different turn-based RPG, because that is an extremely unforgiving game that is very intense. So it's kind of two sides of the coin there, but enjoying both of those. Very, very excited for Arceus this month.
Very excited.
Yes.
I'm
I
still
don't know
unsure. Like, I'm gonna play it, I'm pretty sure, but it just
Did
kinda...
you see the trailer that dropped today? The 13-minute gameplay trailer? Complete. I went from being kind of excited to very excited with that trailer. It looks way more polished than I thought it was going to be. The battles look great. The Pokemon actually like touch each other when they do stuff, which
Whoa.
I know, it's insane. The boss fights look interesting. Like it looks like there's different phases with boss fights where you're like dodging their attacks and you're like throwing different items at them until their shields are down, and then you throw a Pokemon at them and get into a fight there, and then when that phase is done, you go and like to another phase. So it looks just like completely different than anything else we've seen in this series, especially like I said, with me playing Pearl, which is just like the most run-of-the-mill Pokemon game of all time. It just looks awesome. Just seeing so many different things and in this one. So yeah, I'm very excited for it. Definitely recommend checking out that video.
I definitely will. It was funny. I was just looking at videos for that game on my Switch last night. And I was like watching all the little because like you know how you can go on the Nintendo store. You can like click on games and you'll see like all the promotionals for.
Yeah.
I was just watching all the videos to like see if I really wanted to get it. So it's funny. Like the next day, a new one came out.
Yeah, dude. This one will sell you. If you're even mildly interested in this, which I know you are, this is the video that's really going to sell you, because it goes in depth on like the gameplay loop, what's actually going on and stuff, and shows, you know, what you're actually doing in the game. And like I said, it, especially compared to what we first saw of this game, it just looks like way, way, way more polished. So yeah, very excited for that.
That's good news.
For sure.
Well, I've also been playing. I don't know if you were done.
Oh yeah, I'm done. That's pretty much all I can really remember. If I played anything else, it was it was like for a little bit. I haven't really been able to like fully get invested in anything. So
I've also been playing Pokemon. I picked up Brilliant Diamond, I believe it's called. I never played the original Diamond and Pearl, so I was going into this, you know, brand new experience. Like you, not a huge fan of the art style necessarily. I think I don't even know why. I mean, it's fine. I just wish it looked a little more like Let's Go, honestly. But I mean, it's not a huge deal. I still bought the game. I'm still kind of enjoying it. My biggest gripe with the game overall is just it's the same gripe that I have with every Pokemon game, is that they're just so easy. Like to make this game harder, I have a party, like I have my original 6, and now I have 5 other Pokemon that I keep switching in and out of my party just to like make it a little harder, so levels are a little lower. So I have 7 badges right now, and I have a team of I have probably 9 level 50s. Like I just have so many Pokemon leveled up because I'm trying to just shuffle them in and out to make it harder for myself.
While the XP share system
I hate it.
It's like, I like it because it makes all your Pokemon valuable, but it has made the games even easier than they've already been, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even have a problem with the XP, I guess. Like the XP share. I just wish like it gave you less XP maybe. Because I do like that, you know, you could just use one Pokemon and get them leveled up while other Pokemon are also getting some experience. I like that, but
yeah,
I don't know. It just seems like I'm just so overpowered.
What starter did you pick?
I chose Chimchar because I don't know. I like Firestarters a lot.
Yeah.
He seemed to have the coolest evolution, so I just went with him. But my party right now, my main party is Infernape, Crobat, Golduck, which I don't like very much. I don't like my water type. What else do I have? I have a Roserade, which is the final evolution of Rosalia.
Uh-huh.
I have a Steelix, which I love. I love Steelix. He's always been one of my favorites. And that's 5.
I don't think. How do you evolve it? It's just. Do you have to give it Onyx a stone, or it just evolves?
So you can actually find them. You can find a Steelix in the wild. They're at the what's that island called? The one that's off the northwest.
I know.
You have to take a boat there. But
I have not been there yet. I just find it. I just caught the legendary, which I don't remember its name. It's not yours is Dialga, but I don't remember Pearl's one. So that's where I am.
I'm trying to remember my other Pokemon. I have Luxio, that electric type.
Oh yeah, gotta have him. He's cool.
I can't remember. Anyway, I just think the game's okay. I think they could have made it more interesting. I also don't like.
I will say it's very true. Like they didn't change like hardly anything. It's like nostalgic to a point where I just feel like I'm just playing the same game. Which it pretty much is. Granted, there was no XP share or anything like that, but it's very true to what the game was.
Yeah, which is kind of disappointing because a lot of people said they really liked the game from people that I've talked to or listened to online.
Yeah,
and I don't know, the game just seems really underwhelming to me. Like I am not a big fan of the selection of Pokemon in the game. Like none of them really excite me that much, and it just seems like there's not that many. Like you just see the same things everywhere. Maybe I just am bored with everything. I don't know, but I just wish there was more. Like I know there's a lot in the underground area that you can explore, but I just wish there was more in the regular, tall grass areas. So that's really my biggest gripe. Not even that it's too easy. It's that just like I'm not a fan of the Pokemon that are in my party. So maybe that's just more of a me thing. But
I hear you.
Been playing that. I'll definitely finish it because I've heard that the Elite Four is actually kind of a challenge. So I'm looking forward to that. So I got that to finish. Been playing Metroid Dread. That game is very good. I'm in love with Metroid Dread.
So good.
I've probably put in about, I want to say 5 hours. Been to 3 different areas or planets, whatever you want to call them. Fought 2 or 3 bosses. Absolutely in love with the game. I love the loop of just finding new powers. Excuse me. And I just love coming you get to a point in a map where you you can't open this door because you don't have the ability to open it. Then you come back later and you know exactly how to open that door. I love that loop. And it just adds so much replayability, and it makes me want to go back through all the areas that I'll open the map and I'll look at I haven't been through this door yet, but I can do it now. So I'll backtrack all the way through to that portion of the map and I'll open that door, and it might just be like a 3 more rockets an upgrade, but it's still fun to go back and do that stuff. Regrettably, I haven't touched it in a couple weeks because of Pokemon, but as soon as I finish Pokemon, I'll definitely go back and finish it just because I'm having so much fun with it. And I've also been playing a ton. So this is pretty much what I've been playing since probably early fall, which is Final Fantasy 14. I have pretty much, I have basically caught all the way up. I am playing the new expansion, and it is so good. The story is unbelievable. Like it's unbelievable. Like coming from because I've played so much World of Warcraft throughout my life, and coming to a game like this, it's just night and day how much better it does some things than WoW does. And WoW does some things much better than this game does. But just the way that they have built up characters and made a story that is just so compelling is unbelievable. Like Yoshida, the director of this game, and also he's one of the directors of Final Fantasy 16 that's coming out. He just knows how to craft a beautiful story. He really does. I have very few complaints about the game. All the voice acting is great. The some of the environments are kind of hit or miss. Definitely the newer ones and the later expansions are very beautiful, very eye popping, and you go to a lot of very cool places. It's just so cool. Preston, I wish you would have some time to catch up because it's just you're missing out. Like you're not even at the good part of the game yet. You really aren't.
I know.
It really gets good in Shadow.
Well, I start to understand the story because, like, I'm in Heavensward. I really don't know what's going on.
You've taken so many breaks.
I've taken so many breaks, and especially all the added content they put at the end of like the main game. I was trying so hard to blast through, dude. I was skipping everything. Mm-hmm. So I really don't know what's going on in the story.
Those really are like the most challenging portions, like the patch content, like after the main story of the expansions.
There's so much. I guess if you like when you originally beat the game and then they give you a little bit more, like that would have been way easier to consume, but all just at one time, it is just like a ridiculous amount of content. And I'm trying to get through it because everybody's telling me how good the expansions are. So I'm just, not really enjoying it. I'm just trying to fly through it as fast as I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is not the way to do it, but I completely understand why you're doing it.
Yeah.
I was kind of doing that in not Shadowbringer. Stormblood, thank you. Because that's probably my least favorite expansion. That the patch content of that expansion is very just kind of bleh. And even just the expansion, it's the story, it's just kind of okay. It has some cool moments, but
did you change your jobs at all when like new ones would be introduced?
I played Ninja all the way up until I hit. So I played Ninja pretty much until Reaper came out from Endwalker, and you could play Reaper at level 70, which was what you start at for Shadowbringers. So I basically just played a new class through Shadowbringers.
Okay.
And right now I'm still a Reaper, and very cool class, by the way. If you ever unlock it, it's awesome.
I was a Dragoon for all the way through the main game, and then still am.
It's very similar to Dragoon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's primarily what I'm playing now, but I was dabbling in Samurai as well, which I actually did like that class, so I was switching back and forth between those. But I don't know what they call it, but I definitely am interested in getting the gun sword. Which I don't know. Oh, is that what it's called? I've always thought that was like the coolest weapon from Final Fantasy VIII. So I was.
They are tanks though, so you have to play a tank.
Oh, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I just like DPS.
Yep. Less pressure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, I might skip that then.
But yeah, the Reaper is just incredible. The visuals of the abilities you use are just so cool. And like, so you basically have like this 1-2-3 combo, like a lot of other melees do. And then you have like, so you have this one buddy called Enshroud, and you turn into like a demon. You're like, you have this red aura around you, and you like have these overpowered abilities, and they just do so much damage. And like your abilities are usually like turquoise slashes, and they turn into these like pink reddish slashes. And it's just awesome. It's hard to really like just explain to you how cool it is. You would just have to see it if you haven't already. But and like from 70 to 80, there's a class storyline. It's not that great, honestly, compared to like something like Ninja, which I mean, honestly, those class quests start from 10 or 5 or level 5 or 10 all the way up until I think they go up to 80. So they have much more time to flesh out some stories, and they're not the best stories in the world, honestly. And none of them are voice acted. At least the Ninja ones weren't, but it's still kind of cool to see that stuff and, have some new characters to, engross you in a story. But I just feel like I've been playing this game forever. So sometimes I'll just like play it for an hour or two, and I'll just be like, man, like I've been playing this for so long. I need to take a break. Like, because you play one game for so long, and you just like you're so used to everything, so you just kind of become numb to like even the ability to have fun in a game. Does that make sense? Like you play something so much that
no, like, I got you.
Yeah, like you just like I don't know, like maybe it's just me, but I have to take a break from it a lot. But I'm sure once I get towards like some in-game content, I'm in Bojangles Guild on the Exodus realm, so hopefully we'll be able to get some in-game stuff in.
I even switched over to that realm.
Oh, did you?
To play? Yeah. So
are you in his FC? His company?
Maybe. I know I'm in the same realm, so
Okay.
I switched over too because I thought we were all going to be playing with each other. So I paid to do it and everything, but
Oh wow,
never happens.
Well, if you ever get back into it, let me know.
I have to at some point. I owe it to myself.
I mean, it's a big time commitment, but
Yeah.
if you ever find the time, it's fun.
I assumed like just with how my work is and stuff, that would be a good chill game to just get an hour or two in, but I don't for some reason.
No worries. I played anything else? Garrett, why don't you go and I'll chime in if I can remember something.
Alrighty. Yeah, I just continue to hear all the great things about Final Fantasy XIV, and there will come a day where I give it another shot. I mean, I very briefly dabbled in it years ago. I think we even have a YouTube video of us messing around in it, and Kyle was there for that too.
I remember that.
I've seen videos of the director and just heard news stories about how passionate he is about that series and that game and all the hard work and passion and soul he's put into it. That alone makes me want to give it another shot. So it's cool to hear about that.
I mean, if you do ever get into it, it's free up until like through the first expansion. So
Yeah.
it's a level 60, I think, or 70, which is really good.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat Preston is. I know all of us at different times are just crazy busy that whenever I do have time to play games these days, I'm more interested in bite-sized experiences for the most part. But I've never really been totally grabbed by any MMO. As much as I love the idea of them and have had fun in them, I haven't, I guess aside from RuneScape when I was in middle school, that was the last one to really grab me. But I've always had that place in my mind, like, man, in a different life or in a different situation, I could just see myself being totally enveloped by one of these games.
Yeah.
But that being said, like I mentioned prior to recording, I'm not going to elaborate on all of these too much, but collectively, this is everything I've played in the last month when I've had time. Halo Infinite, Dead Space 2 and 3, Forza Horizon 5, Cyberpunk, Metro Exodus, Witcher 3, Fable 1, Max Payne 3, Red Dead 2, and Call of Duty Warzone. So, mainly because I haven't really determined what mood I'm in. My mood keeps swinging rapidly. Like, when I say I played all these games, I'd be playing Forza Horizon 5 for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and be like, actually, I think I want to play some Dead Space. Play that for an hour. Actually, I think I want to play some Halo. Play that for 45 minutes. All within like a 3-hour span, I've played like 6 games because I just can't determine what kind of mood I'm in. And I think it's because we're on the onset of such big releases that we're going to talk about in the news. That's kind of in the back of my mind, knowing I will fully commit to all 3 of those between release and probably midsummer, as they'll keep me occupied that long. So because of that, I've been bouncing around. But the ones I really want to touch on are Halo and Dead Space. Infinite multiplayer still has a lot of issues, none of which are really game breaking to me. But aside from the issues, as much as I love playing that game, I've realized that I am capable of playing very well in it. I think it just comes with playing Halo since the beginning, that inherently I've been able to play very well in Infinite multiplayer. But that being said, it requires every ounce of focus and energy for me to play that game well in multiplayer. And I don't like to just play and get my ass kicked while I'm playing it. I actually want to play well. So I have to be in a very specific, energized mood to play Halo multiplayer.
So that's why you're not playing with me.
No, I mean, the time you played with us, you played really well. But
Yeah,
I think especially when I'm playing by myself, like if Zach and Andy aren't playing with me, I almost don't want to play at all, because if you don't have good teammates, you're going to just get slaughtered. I think this game more so than maybe Halo 5 is in this camp as well, but it really is like there are so many nuances to the depth of just how you can play that game and play it well between movement, weapons, equipment. It's just a very diverse experience. You got to be thinking about so many things at one time that it just fries my brain if I play for more than like an hour. And that it just sounds exhausting to me. So because of that, I dabbled in all these other ones. So Dead Space 2 and 3, I think I'm actually going to do a video on this. And some of the news I wanted to share, which I'll get to in a minute, has to do with, was sort of inspired by playing this. I'm very late to playing Dead Space 2 and 3, but really enjoyed 2. By the end of it, it became Gears of War, which really disappointed me, but it started off really strong, like the first one. And I'm about 25% through the third one, really enjoying it as well. Very much an action game, but just something about Dead Space is just very fun to play. Between the sound design, the weapon diversity, upgrading there's like some very light RPG elements that are very satisfying to upgrade over time. So I'm not really invested in the story. The story hasn't really ever interested me that much in Dead Space, but just the overall tone and vibe and horror elements and action gameplay, I think collectively just makes for a really fun package. So I think within the next 2 weeks, by the time I finish Dead Space 3, I'm going to do some sort of feature mini review video called something like Dead Space 2 and 3 reviewed in 2022, since I came to them so late, especially with hopefully in the not too distant future, the remake of the original coming. I'd like to talk about those. But outside of that, Cyberpunk, I really gave Cyberpunk a chance, dude. I played for like 4 strong hours. I did a dozen side quests. I did 2 or 3 main missions, got a bunch of new weapons, customized them, customized my dude, got to know some of the characters a little more, and I still just can't get into it for some reason. Maybe it's because I'm not in the mood for like an open world RPG right now, but just I couldn't do it longer than that. I mean, by the end of each play session, I was truly bored for some reason. I don't know why. I even went into it with the new mindset of pretend it's like a Fallout style game instead of a GTA like game, like I went into it originally. And even going in with that mindset, it just didn't grab me for some reason. But I do recognize the brilliant aspects of it. I mean, with the new Jeep, I recently purchased a 2080 Ti, and that's of course vastly improved the performance of every game I play. And even with settings pretty significantly cranked up, running beautifully on my PC, I recognize that on PC it looks awesome. Like the character facial animations are great, sound design's cool, city looks cool, especially when you have ray tracing on. All those things shine beautifully. And from what I continue to hear, the story is awesome. And the stories I played in the side missions were cool, but none of it really grabbed me enough to want to come back to it for any extended time. So moved on from that, jumped into Metro Exodus. And this one's kind of complicated for me because I started it when it first came out, kind of liked it. I got through the first 3 or 4 hours, put it down, mainly because my PC could barely run it at the time. So now with the upgraded GPU, jump back in, upgraded the settings, looks great, runs great. And I think I talked to Preston briefly about it a couple of weeks ago. There's still just this slight bit of jank to it that just prevents me from wanting to continue playing it. But the reason it feels complicated to me is that I also uninstalled that very shortly after playing it. But then Racevic just recently released his video doing his 1.5 hour long Metro Exodus review. And having watched almost all of it, part of me wants to go back and see it through. And then there's a whole nother part of me that just wants to let it go because he has so many good things to say about it that really appeal to me. But all the negatives he touches on are like the exact negatives I had in mind while playing it for just a few hours. So because of that, I don't know if I want to go back to it or not.
I loved Exodus.
Yeah. I mean, I still kind of want to go back after his video. Like, even with the jank, I'm like, well, maybe if I try it this way and up the difficulty.
I don't remember there being a lot of jank in that game. I beat it twice, too.
I think mine was just the movement felt kind of strange to me. And it may just be because I came off of Halo Infinite, like almost immediately after playing Halo Infinite. That game's like butter on mouse and keyboard. And then jumping into Exodus, it just felt different. And I just got to, again, like turn that switch in my brain. I'm like, well, this isn't an action, super fast-paced shooter. So even though it's obviously a first-person shooter, it doesn't play like Halo does. So that may have been my problem. But I'm probably going to reinstall that and give it another shot because Racevic's video kind of inspired me to do so. I've also randomly had Bioshock Infinite on the mind. I don't know why. I think it's just the talks of what's his name studio kind of struggling right now with whatever new game they're doing. And talks of the new Bioshock in development and just thinking about the first two made me want to explore Infinite again because I've only ever played it all the way through once. So might mess with that. Witcher 3, jumped in, again, cranked up the settings, looks beautiful, runs well, played a few side quests. Loved that game to death, but that didn't quite grab me this time. Fable 1's just nostalgic, super charming. I played that for like 8 hours. I actually played that a lot longer than I thought it was. I was going to download it and just re-experience the beginning. I was like, I'll just play through the beginning and do something else. But I ended up playing for like 8 hours. Really enjoyed that. Max Payne 3 played a mission or two. Wasn't bored. I just said, well, I've played this. It's cool, but not in the mood for this either. Same thing with Red Dead 2. And then Warzone every now and then I'll play with Zach. But that's all I've been playing. And right now I'm committed to finishing Dead Space 3 so I can do a video.
That's awesome, man.
So that being said, I've kind of talked to Preston and Jacob about this. It's still kind of I'm still figuring it out in my mind. But
well, before you get into that, I did forget one thing that I definitely wanted to talk about for a smidge second.
Okay.
So I got a Quest 2 back when I got back from Texas, mainly to play Resident Evil 4 VR, and that's probably, besides Alex, my favorite VR experience I've had, for sure. Of course, RE4 is like one of my favorite games ever, and the VR port of that game is just perfect. Like, they absolutely nailed it. Feels incredible to play, from reloading to shooting to just exploring that world. It is just incredibly fun, and I could not stop playing it from when I bought it. So I haven't really played anything else on it. But it was definitely worth it just to get Resident Evil 4, and I know they're doing a San Andreas VR remake, and I've never played that game, so I am definitely looking forward to getting that eventually when it comes out. Just playing VR with no cords or anything attached is just incredible. Pretty freaking sick.
Yeah, so. I only played for about maybe 5 minutes at your house at the Georgia-Florida game, but what little I played of Resident Evil 4 it's the Quest 2, right? Is what it's called?
Quest 2.
Yeah, I was blown away by how good it looked and how well it performed on a wireless setup. Yeah. So it was cool.
And the Quest 2 is $250. That is insane.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It is.
I don't know what's preventing me from buying it. I don't know why I haven't bought it yet.
And you can plug it into your PC with a Type-C cable and use it as like a normal headset as well. So it's just,
you can play Steam games on it, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so just for the, it's just like the best VR value, hands down. It's awesome.
I've thought about it a couple times just to play Alex.
Yeah, Alex is pretty insane.
I really want to get the Index though. But it's just it's such a big commitment.
I would just wait for PSVR 2. I would be shocked if there's not an Alex port on that. And just based on the VR specs and stuff, I think the screen has a higher resolution than the Index. It's only going to have, one cable, a Type-C to the PS5. There's not going to be lighthouses or anything. It's all inside the headset.
And those dope new controllers.
Yeah, the Sense controllers. So that's going to be my next VR purchase for sure.
Hashtag not fanboys, of course, but yeah, I'm also very interested in that. I mean, we were very early adopters of PSVR 1, so I feel obligated to be an early adopter of PSVR 2.
Man, looking back on that thing, just with the Move controllers and the camera and everything.
Oh my God, and all those cables, dude. Holy crap. Jacob and I setting up for a VR Let's Play took 2 hours back in the day.
That would just like cover the thing in sweat. It would just be drenched.
Yeah, gosh, dude.
Which probably still happens, but
I still have my PSVR.
Same.
And honestly, I would play it more if it weren't such an inconvenience.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so appealing about Quest. You just throw it on and you're good.
Yeah, that's what's incredible at the Quest. I have a massive space in my basement, and I just keep it charging down there. So I just run down there, throw it on, I'm good to go. And that's what's going to be great about PSVR 2. It's just literally one cable. Don't have to worry about setting your camera up, all that bull crap. So
you had to have the camera.
Yeah. And if you're outside of the camera space, it gets all glitchy and stuff. So yeah, it'll be way, way better.
I'm interested to see an actual gameplay demo of the Horizon, like Call of the Mountain, whatever it's called, the VR game.
Yeah.
What they could do with that.
I definitely hope it's not on rails or anything like that.
I know, like you're in a boat the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, it has potential. I mean, that's the best weapon to use in a VR game is a bow and arrow. Mm-hmm. That's like the coolest one, especially with the Sense controllers. I mean, imagine having resistant triggers, like using it with like the motion, just like actually pulling back their bowstring, feeling it in the trigger while you're pulling your arm back. Like that has potential to be incredibly immersive. So
Absolutely.
yeah, excited for that. And I did forget, you bringing up Metroid Dread made me think of that too. But I also beat Metroid Dread and thoroughly enjoyed that. I forgot that was during my Texas trip when I played that game. But yes, absolutely loved that game.
About how long do you think it is?
It's like 8 hours. It's not very long.
It's only 8 hours?
Yeah. I mean, the whole point, I mean, it's a Metroidvania game, so like they want you to play through it again and like do it faster and stuff. But I will say the ending of that game is incredibly epic. Like, I mean, there's a lot of that game, just the way that they do boss fights and stuff. It is just so cinematic that I never seen like a side scroller do things that this game does.
Dude, I love doing the little robot rooms. Those big white robot dudes.
Yeah, the Emmys.
Actually, really, yeah, Emmys. Those are fun to me. Like at first, I thought they were like kind of scary and terrifying, but like once you, I don't know when you want to upgrade it, but you like get the ability to actually kill them by like shooting at them.
Yeah.
That's when it gets fun. Right? I think you have to like get to a part of the room and then you have to get an upgrade.
You have to kill the brain. And then you absorb its power. But yeah, super cool. Sorry, Garrett, as you were saying.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I'm also interested in those things. So Metroid Dread's been on my list for a while. I don't know why I haven't bought that yet. I think I've recently been spoiled by games I already have, and then games on Game Pass have really spoiled me recently. So I haven't dropped is it $60
for Dread?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. Not that I'm not willing to pay that for a great game. Since I have so many games
it's not that
through Game Pass.
I know it's not that long and it's a side scroller, but I have paid for much bigger, technically more expensive games for $60, and I felt like I got my bang for my buck with Dread as opposed to some other games I've bought. So Dread is just incredibly polished. I didn't have any glitches or anything. It looks great. It plays great. Story's interesting. I was very satisfied with it.
Cool.
Very challenging too. It's a very challenging game.
It's forgiving too. Like if you get your ass kicked, it won't set you back too far.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'll talk about anything I have to say about this podcast at the end. It's good news, by the way. I don't want to scare anyone, but I'll just save it for the end. So you guys want to jump into the news?
Yes.
Cool. All right. Upcoming games. Obviously, we can just talk about these however we feel like. But between Dying Light 2 on the 4th of February, Horizon Forbidden West on the 18th, and Elden Ring on the 25th. I think all of us, to some degree, Jacob, you mentioned you're not interested in Dying Light 2, but just thoughts on these upcoming games, whether or not you're excited. Just anything you have to say about these ones, because that's a big month for sure.
We already kind of talked about Pokemon Arceus too, but that one's worth mentioning there too, I think.
Yeah, that's right. The 28th, so just a few days before Dying, or like a week before Dying Light.
It's only a couple weeks away, actually.
Yeah,
is Dying Light pushed to the end? Because what I just read is it's coming out on the 4th.
Yeah, February 4th, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
you mean 28th of January?
Arceus comes out the 28th.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, so then, Dying Light's right after that, then Forbidden West, and then Elden Ring. So, February's going to be pretty ridiculous. And it's stressing me out a little bit because based on what I've been doing recently with games, I just have no clue what I'm going to start first or how I'm going to get to other things, because I'm excited for all of those. I love Dying Light. I thought the first Dying Light was incredibly fun. This one just looks even better. I'm excited with like all the story choices and stuff. It just looks like a super fun game. Then, like I was talking about Arceus earlier, I'm very excited to play that. Then, of course, Forbidden West, that looks incredible. And then, Elden Ring is, the most hyped game of like all time pretty much. So just, I have no clue what I'm going to do.
I think I'm going to go back and actually finish Demon Souls before Elden Ring. I think that's what I'm going to do.
I love that game. I completely fell head over heels in love with that game on PS5.
I just like stopped after a couple bosses like early last year. So I need to go back and actually play through it. Because
I think I just got 6 or 7 more trophies to platinum. It's just a lot of work to platinum.
Yeah, you're not going to do that.
I might. I've gone back a couple times, but like I said, I can't commit to anything right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to get like back in that mood before that game comes out. So I'm probably most excited for Elden Ring. I'd have to say. Really excited for Horizon too. I don't remember much about the story for that game, so I need to like maybe watch a recap or something because it's been almost has it been like 2 or 3 years since the first one?
From what I remember, the first game story, I remember really digging it a lot. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I don't know if like the way they told it was the best. Like I like remembering back on it, I wasn't a huge fan of like I don't know. Didn't they do like some sort of like hologram thing where you like activate something?
Yeah, you'd see like flashbacks and holograms of the past.
Yeah,
I think. What were you gonna say?
I think the story overall, like how the world sort of went to shit, was really cool in that game. That's what I like about it. So I'm excited to see how they sort of push forward with that.
Yeah, and thinking about it now, I think I'm more interested in the lore of Horizon more so than I am the story itself, because there weren't any characters I really was that interested in. Even Aloy. I mean, Aloy's cool, but as just a character, I wasn't that really invested in any of them. It's just the world they established and the stakes and just the lore of how those creatures came to be and how like civilization wound up that way was interesting to me. Like the broader ideas were more interesting, but excited to see how that continues. And even gameplay wise, it's odd. I think out of all of these games, I've seen the most of Elden Ring, which I wouldn't have expected because that game was so secretive for so long. But I've seen the most gameplay I've seen out of all of them is from Elden Ring. And the last time I've seen a glimpse of Dying Light 2, aside from screenshots that are accompanied by headlines of news stories, the last time I saw it in action was at E3 2018. And obviously the game's changed drastically since then. So I'm going into that blind, and I'm going into Horizon relatively blind as well. The last time I saw that was the PS5 or PlayStation State of Play, that original demo. And I've seen like 5 seconds of that GIF of Aloy fighting that big snake robot. That's all I've seen. So I'm hoping I go into it and just, I mean, obviously visually it's going to blow our minds, but even gameplay, what little I've seen seems to be really cool. Yeah. So I look forward to exploring that game too.
Even just sitting here talking about Horizon, like I can't even remember the last time that I've played a PlayStation game on my PlayStation. It was probably Ratchet and Clank, honestly.
Same for me.
That was probably the last exclusive that I played, which really just shows how slow. I don't think there's been any other exclusives, has there? I guess Kenya came out, right? Is that what that game's called?
Yeah, Kenna.
Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah, Kenna.
Yeah. I got to get back to that game. I really liked what I played.
Yeah, I liked it too. It's very simple, but it was fun.
It won publication's Game of the Year, surprisingly.
Which publication?
I don't remember. It wasn't like some no-name site. I know it won once Indie Game of the Year, and then another's just like full-on Game of the Year. Don't remember though. Did Deathloop come after Ratchet and Clank? Because that was it did. That was a console exclusive. Yeah.
I still haven't finished Deathloop. Every time I go back to it, I'll play for 5 or 6 hours and then drop it again.
Yeah, I had to. I know we were talking about it a while ago, just how I would try and play for like 30 minutes and couldn't get into it. So I like forced myself, which I know that sounds bad to force yourself to play something, but I was just like, all right, I'm going to play for an hour. Like, let's do it. And I got really sucked in and played for like a couple of days straight. And I planned out how to kill everybody. I just need to do it now. Like I've pretty much done everything to know where everybody's going to be. So I think I'm pretty much almost done with it. And I will say, I know this is going off on a little side tangent, but I think that kind of makes me not like this game as much as some of the other Arcane games, because it's not as broad as you would think. Like it is surprisingly linear. Like you do all these.
It does very much want you to play a relatively specific way.
Yeah, like you do all these side missions to figure out where these people are going to be, and then once you know where they're going to be, like you kill them all. Unless I'm just that's just the way that's what it looks like to me. But I'm sure there's probably like some stealth game or something that can completely do something completely different or whatever. But from the way that I'm playing it, it seems fairly straightforward, which isn't like the worst thing. It's still very fun. All the different targets
Yeah.
and stuff are really cool. Like there's one guy who completely separated his brain from his body, and it's in like this old computer, and there's a few like objectives that has to do with him, and those are really fun and interesting. And just the whole loot mechanic, how it plays into the story is interesting. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I applaud them for that bold take on what they did immediately after Dishonored. I mean, like art style, music, characters, and even gameplay is definitely a departure from what they did before, which is always, I think, cool.
then we had
Whether or not that
Returnal.
succks.
We had Returnal this year too. Forgot about that.
That's also been in the back of my mind. I still have a very slight itch to like really finish that game. Because like I said, always like I recognize how sick it is. I just for some reason haven't been in the mood to commit to that either.
It's great. Platinuming it was not fun in the slightest,
Yeah.
but the actual game itself was fun. Then, shout out. I know I'm just bringing up random crap, but shout out to Guardians of the Galaxy, dude. Great game.
Yeah, I keep seeing a lot of cool stuff from that.
It is excellent. It completely took me by surprise, and I love that game. And it is on sale a lot. I've seen it for like $20 every couple of weeks, so it is like a no-brainer. If you can pick it up for that, definitely
Did you
do
play it
it.
on PS5?
Yes,
Is it running 60 FPS?
it does.
Nice.
Looks great, plays great.
Yeah,
It's
I'd want to
worth
play
keeping
that
in
game on a
mind.
big display because the artwork looks beautiful.
Yeah, very, very good.
I always forget about that one.
Same.
why.
I'm just looking over at my shelf, trying to look at stuff, and
How long did it
Notice
take
that
you
again.
to complete that?
like 15, 20 hours.
Okay.
It's
I'm
not too
debating
bad.
if I have time to play that before these other games. I'm probably going to wait on Dying Light. I might wait till I beat Horizon and Elden Ring before I do Dying Light.
I might wait on Dying Light 2, and if the reviews are like, holy crap, my life has changed, I'll never be the same, then
I'll play it too.
I'll have to jump
probably
in.
immediately, yeah.
But yeah, I playing, just having Arceus, I highly doubt I will have finished that game, and hopefully I'll finish it up before Horizon comes out. So
Does
Oh,
Arceus
God, I
have
can't
a
wait to-
collector's edition?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look into that.
I
Go
do-
ahead,
I
Garrett.
can't wait to feel feel Horizon on a DualSense controller to see what Gorilla's done. It's one thing when third-party developers take advantage of that technology, but to have like the first-party studios really work on it is always really exciting to experience. So, pumped for that. What else we got in here? Stalker 2 is delayed, which is kind of a bummer because I've like really kind of garnered an interest in that game recently, especially after just dabbling in Metro Exodus. I'm excited to see that, but like most delays, they say they just need more time to polish it and finish it up. But delayed all the way till December 8th, so I've kind of just completely put that game out of mind now.
What
Until the
game are you
time
talking
comes.
about?
Stalker 2.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Bummer, but nothing we haven't been used to. Even prior to COVID, a lot more delays were happening, but especially during the last 2 years, delays have been happening, which is no surprise. So it's a bummer, but no worries. So long as it launches in a relatively decent state, unlike some games that have come out recently, that'd be great. I had nothing really else particular in the news, Jacob. I was very brief, like super briefly going to talk about all these things, but have you watched Book of Boba Fett at all?
No, I have not. So I haven't watched it because I don't really want to like pay for Disney Plus right now. I've been watching
Okay.
a lot of other things, mostly a bunch of animes, plus The Witcher second season. So no, but I will be watching it soon because I've heard some
Cool.
pretty good things about it.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of lukewarm about it. I don't love it really at all. I don't think it's bad. It just isn't. I don't. Maybe I was just more interested in Mandalorian, even though it has familiar like Western tropes. Mandalorian's story is a bit more original than at least Book of Boba Fett is, because it's very much pulling from other IP to create a story, which isn't a bad thing. I think it works very well for Boba Fett as a character, but hasn't grabbed me quite as strongly as Mandalorian. Whereas that show, I like highly anticipated every episode that came out. This one, I'm like, I'll get to it when I can. Like, I might watch the new episode tonight if I have time, but hasn't grabbed me. But it's
Yeah.
not terrible.
Have you guys been keeping up with Demon Slayer? Have you guys ever watched Demon
but
Slayer?
I've heard Demon Slayer is so awesome.
Demon Slayer is
I have not.
incredible. Have you guys watched it at all?
I've not, but I've heard like Garrett
Oh my
that
God.
it's really good.
You guys got to watch it. It's so good.
I
You
did.
would love it.
I started Attack on Titan new season.
Nice.
I
Like
haven't finished
the second half of like the.
Yeah. I haven't
Yeah.
finished the first episode back, but
Gotcha. It's
I'm
good.
so happy that show's back, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, by the way, the intro is sick. It's like
Yes,
metal.
it's awesome. Yeah.
I'm like, this is the best intro since the original season.
Yep.
Really good.
Preston, if you should consider listening to that intro.
No, I have 2 episodes left of just the final season part 1, so I'm
Oh,
gonna.
you're catching up.
Oh yeah, I'm like 2 episodes
Yes.
away. I'm good.
Nice. Yeah, you're gonna love it too.
I meant to say I also pre-ordered. What's that Game Boy digital thing everyone's
Oh, the
playing
analog
with?
thing.
Yeah. I pre-ordered that, but I'm
Dang.
not getting it till next year. For some reason, I'm so interested in that.
Do you have any
you
Game
know what's
Boy
funny?
games?
Do I?
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
What
So-
are you gonna play?
Anything I can get my hands on.
Okay.
So I just know because I have a year to find whatever I can in the meantime. But it kind of sucks because when I originally was going to pre-order it, I would have been in the wave that came like midway through this year. I was like, oh, maybe I won't do it. I don't even have any games. But then I just like something snapped to me. I'm like, I know one day I'm going to want that. So I pre-ordered it and I will not be getting it till next year. So when that day comes, it'll be an exciting day. But until then, I'm waiting. So, but
Nice.
I just really like the idea of that thing. So, I
Did either of
pre-ordered
you
one.
get that? What is it called? It's that Steam handheld that looks like the Switch.
Oh, the Steam Deck.
Yeah. Are either of you getting the Steam Deck?
I'm not.
I don't think I will.
Okay. I was just asking because I think it's coming out soon. So
Then
Allegedly.
again, reviews could change my mind. Like, because didn't we talk about this? You could theoretically take your Steam Deck, plug it into a monitor, and just plug in like a mouse and keyboard and treat it as like a mobile PC.
Correct.
Theoretically,
Yes, you can.
I think if you're traveling a lot, that and it runs fairly well, that could be incredible.
Yeah.
When I think about it that way. But I wouldn't really want to play my PC games handheld. Like the PC experience very
Well-
much is mouse and keyboard to me.
definitely depends what you're playing, right?
For sure. I mean, like for example, I've been playing Dead Space 2 and 3 on PC, but I've used a controller. I even play Halo Infinite with a controller. So
Why?
Because I think
I guess
it
it's
plays.
Halo.
I think it plays much better on controller than mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
Personally,
I think it played good mouse and keyboard when I was playing.
it feels
I enjoyed
awesome.
it.
Don't get me wrong, but like as a longtime Halo player, and even all the pros play controller. Like none of the pros play mouse and keyboard, which is interesting. But
Mhm.
it's very much has to do with the way the aim assist works and just how it feels on the sticks. Is just I don't know, for some reason I just like it a lot more. But anyway, yeah, like anything else on PC, I prefer mouse and keyboard. But those three, I played controller.
I feel that.
Did either of you pre-order the Steam Deck?
Mm-mm. No.
No.
I mean, who knows when we'll ever get our hands on that thing?
If you didn't
Considering
pre-order it, you're
everything
not
else
going to
right
get
now.
one for a while. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I think they announced it like this time last year or something. It's just been they just haven't released it for a while. It had a different release date originally, but it got delayed.
I mean, it should be coming out fairly soon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's soon. Yeah. Well, I know we have an absolute ton of questions.
Yeah, I was gonna have Preston and I talk about Spider-Man, but Jacob still
Oh,
hasn't
yeah.
seen it, which blows my mind. So
I just don't care enough to go see movies anymore, man. I don't like besides like going to the gym, going to work, and like that's pretty much all I do anymore right now. I'm really boring right now.
I understand. I mean, Spider-Man was literally the only thing to get me to go to the movies. I don't know if any other movie that could have done that.
I
Yeah.
still love going to the movies, especially every now and then I'll go to a movie by myself. I'm trying to think of what I saw by myself recently.
I'll go see
remember what it was.
Uncharted. I got to go see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That'll probably be the only other thing I go see this year.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I really want to see it. It's just like I just haven't, you know.
yeah.
Just haven't.
I in general just love going to the movies.
I mean, it's fun.
just haven't-
yeah.
haven't been able to go too much recently. One movie I wanted to see in theaters, but it was in and out so quickly because no one paid to see it, was The Last Duel. It's Ridley Scott's new movie. Has Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Adam Driver in it.
Was that the movie that she was complaining that no one went to go see because they don't go see movies anymore?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a shame too, and he's not totally off base, and I get it because a lot of people,
I meant you.
and myself included to some degree, when they pay to go see a movie these days, they want the full on theater experience of like, you're paying to see. It's an experience going to the movies versus just watching something on your TV. It's not nearly as bombastic and engaging as a theater is, which I understand. But it is a shame because Hollywood and many production studios are not funding like films as much as they used to because they just don't make nearly as much money right now. And The Last Duel is a shining example of that. It is. I watched it on the plane home from LA a few nights ago. I'd been dying to see it because I heard it was so good. And I actually thought the trailer was weak. Like when I saw the trailer, I'm like, this looks awkward and dumb. It's like, I don't want to see this. But then I heard all these reviews of people praising it. I was like, well, I guess I have to watch it now. And I like all those actors individually. Just something about that trailer turned me off to it. So I watched it, and it's excellent. It's very good. Performances, super strong. All real sets, real choreography. Like if there is green screen, they did a very good job of hiding it. It looks gorgeous. Beautifully shot, incredibly acted. Sound design's amazing. Music is beautiful. Story is deeply compelling. And it was just a very satisfying film from beginning to end. And I was like, it's a shame that no one went to see this because that's why production studios don't fund movies like that as much as they used to, because no one pays to see them, which is just an utter shame. It's kind of funny is if anyone has seen it or you do go to see it or do watch it at home or whatever, it's weird initially seeing Matt Damon and even Adam Driver, honestly, and Ben Affleck pretend to be people in like the 1300s in France. For the first 20 minutes, I'm like, they're just cosplaying right now. It's just kind of weird. But by the end of it, they fully embodied these characters, and I was really drawn into the story that by the end of it, I felt that they were those characters. They weren't themselves anymore. So I had to get over that hump at the beginning, but once you get into it, it's really an amazing movie. So highly recommend that. Also watch Venom 2. So I had the duality of filmmaking on the flight home from LA of like something excellent and then something extremely dumb. Entertaining nonetheless, but just so dumb. And the sad thing about Venom is that I wouldn't even say it's a terrible movie, but I don't think I had a single emotional reaction in the slightest bit while watching it. I literally was just blank face. Fully, I paid attention to the whole thing. I wasn't distracted, but like nothing made me laugh. I don't even think I smiled watching it. I just sat there and I watched it and just moved on. Like I've had no thoughts of it since, but whatever. So I like Venom as a character. Action was cool, but just didn't really do much for me. So anyway, those are some random thoughts on movies that I had before community questions.
What do you guys want to talk about, Spider-Man, or you want to save it till the end?
Well, we can save it for some other time since you haven't seen it. Some other day we'll talk about it.
Well, I can't promise you that I'll see it before it's like out on like DVD and Blu-ray.
It's fine. Let's just get on with questions.
Yeah, we can do it. I'll bring us in. So Ask IOG is the part of the show where we answer your questions submitted through any of our social media at ItsObviousGaming, the Ask IOG section of our Discord channel, or emailed to us at itsobviousgaming@gmail.com, and always include the hashtag AskIOG so that we know you want your question read live on the show. First one comes from D, and thank you to everyone who wrote in last minute here for recording this podcast. D says, kind of 2-in-1. Was doing some thinking and it came to mind to ask you guys what your favorite little game feature is that you love the most. For example, on the top of my head, the fact that you have a music player even on foot in Watch Dogs 2, not just the car radio. Obvious statement, but music means a lot to me, and Ubisoft did that for us. Why haven't more games implemented that system? Favorite little game features that come to mind?
Love the climbing and Breath of the Wild a lot. I love the little stamina thing.
Yeah.
Thought that was fun.
Yeah, another way to phrase this is like favorite little game mechanics. But sometimes it could be like a little tiny feature that overall to the gameplay experience may seem insignificant, but does a lot for you.
Mm-hmm. Fast travel.
Yeah.
Ever playing games without fast travel? I do.
Little game features. There's bound to be something I'm struggling to think of right now. You got anything, Preston?
Game features. No, not really off the top of my head. Not if we're using like his example as an example, I can't think of anything like that. The last thing I can remember in a game that I was just like, oh, this needs to be in every game with similar things was the loadout system in Ghost of Tsushima, where you could actually save different loadouts to all your different outfits.
Yeah,
I would wish
with
games where there are different like abilities associated with different pieces of gear and like trinkets and stuff. They're like in the Assassin's Creeds and stuff, at least the newer ones, which I don't know if they had a system like that in them either. But anyways, RPGs where you're equipping different armors with stuff like that, there needs to be a save loadout feature so you can easily swap it back and forth between different outfits or stuff like that, depending on what situation you're in. And I really appreciated that in Ghost of Tsushima, which it also because it was so easy to do that, I was switching back and forth between outfits way more than I ever did in my initial playthrough.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a really good one.
Got a couple more. I love there's something in WoW called transmogrification, and they pretty much started the whole thing where in every game now you can change the appearance of armor that you're wearing. Like, just because you're wearing a piece of armor that looks different doesn't mean like you can change how that armor looks and make it appear a different way. That's a feature that I've always loved in games, because I love looking a certain way if I can change my appearance in that game. And something for Final Fantasy XIV, I love the job system, in the sense where you can create one character and play any class in the game, or job in the game, they call them. But in WoW, you have to make a whole new character just to play a different class. So I like both of those systems.
Yeah, that is good. Job system is really good.
I got nothing, boys. I don't know why I can't think of anything tonight. I'm like really racking my brain too, and I can't think of a single thing.
Yeah, you suck.
Sorry. Guess I don't play enough games.
Yeah, poser.
Peter LaFleur writes in, "You lose, LaFleur." He says, "What's up, boys? Hope y'all are well.
Sup?
I've been watching old E3 and gaming press conference videos on YouTube recently for nostalgia's sake. Every time I watch, I have to watch the God of War 2018 reveal. It's my favorite reveal of all time. And thinking about how the game delivered on all the hype makes it that much better.
Mm-hmm.
My question is as follows. What is your favorite game reveal of all time? Do you have one? Not really looking for the best, just wanted to know what your favorite was. As I type this, I remember Preston being brought to tears by certain, I was going to mention that, certain Marvel games reveal, so I guess I know his answer."
Yeah, that's my answer. Easy.
I'll never forget that as long as I live. Preston,
I don't know why the rumor for that game. I just they were out there that somebody was working on it. I saw that like it was maybe like Sucker Punch or another studio, which like I said, those rumors I never saw them. So that was just that just came out of nowhere to me. Mm-hmm. Which of course will never like happen again because of how much I read stuff. But yeah, that's definitely mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, God of War is a good one.
Yeah, dude,
I think
with E3 gone now and stuff, I know it's like, we're not doing it this year. Like, nah, dude, it was dead last year. Even if it came back, it'd still be dead. Like E3 is forever gone.
Yeah, it definitely is.
So we got the Summer Games Fest now.
Yeah, but man, the times of us meeting up and like eating pizza and watching.
I know that's such a heartbreaker. Dude.
Never again. It's so sad.
Yeah. I'm thankful I got to attend 2 years too before it died, because even the last time I went was 2018. Even 2019, like PlayStation not being there was just, I heard, not remotely the same.
Yeah.
So that was a blessing to be able to go those 2 years. And but I still, even after going those 2 years, miss more than that. Just us hanging for like a few days, just eating Taco Bell and pizza and talking about games. It was awesome.
I felt so degenerate when we did that. Like spending a whole day just sitting in a room watching.
I love that, dude.
Trailers
awesome.
for games.
It was awesome,
Eating
dude.
junk. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think God of War is up there for me. The only thing about God of War is, as much as I love God of War 2018, I'd only played God of War 3 before that, so I wasn't that invested in the franchise, but it was still cool to see the hype of that when it was revealed. I think Last of Us 2 was cool as well.
Yeah,
which
Last of
is
Us
funny
2
looking
at
back
the,
on it now.
The PlayStation event was pretty hype. And
that's still a really sick teaser trailer for that game with Ellie. It's funny looking back on it now, just considering the discourse that's occurred since that game's launch. But just quick thought on that, that there's like the heavy rumors of them remaking the first one. And something I completely slipped my mind I hadn't thought of is that with the launch or release of the TV show on HBO Max, that's the rumored release date around the same time with the remake of the first game. And that makes total sense to me why they would do that.
For sure.
So that's pretty cool. What were we talking about? Favorite reveals? I don't really have any other memorable ones other than Preston screaming and crying.
The classic reveal of Twilight Princess, way back in the day at Nintendo's conference, is very cool. Just seeing people lose their mind, seeing like adult Link for the first time on like the GameCube. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. I'm having trouble really thinking of what game is my favorite reveal of all time.
I like reveals. I guess I just haven't been invested in a franchise enough to lose my mind at a reveal.
Fantasy VII Remake, which of course I wasn't that excited for because, I don't have nostalgia for the original, but that was still, in hindsight now, just seeing people lose their minds and stuff for that game was pretty exciting.
Honestly, I think like one of my favorite reveals would have to be something from BlizzCon one year. Because I always cared much more about BlizzCon than like E3.
Oh, that Diablo mobile game got you hyped.
Yeah, that's the one. It probably had to be like Battle for Azeroth for WoW or like Overwatch when it was revealed. I remember how excited everyone was when Overwatch came out. Or not came out, but was announced.
Yeah.
People just like were completely not expecting it because Blizzard hadn't released a new game in over like a decade. So it was just like a huge deal. So that's probably mine would be Overwatch. And it was just funny considering the state of the game now and how few people play it anymore.
Dude, I can't believe Overwatch 2 is still coming. I can't.
Apparently it's not even coming out this year, Garrett.
I know. I still can't believe. I understand from a marketing standpoint, business standpoint, like, oh, let's put out a sequel, we'll make more money. But goodness gracious, dude, like, what the heck is the point? So
I can believe, and also I cannot believe how just much Activision Blizzard is in the shitter right now. Like
oh yeah, it's like a disaster over there.
I can't believe what has happened. They can't catch a break. Not that they deserve a break. Like they were just in such a deep hole.
Pretty bad over there.
But I don't want to talk about that.
Anyway, Optic Dragon writes in, says, quick question for the muscle god himself, Jacob, and any other gods want to answer. I was wondering if you're still interested in Destiny 2 and the new expansion coming out. Former Pimp Daddy. Pimp Daddy!
No, I'm not. I think the trailer looked cool. Like the whole Witch Queen thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like I'm too far outside the loop of that game anymore. I've missed a few expansions now. I think. I don't even know what's going on with the game. I always thought Destiny was really fun, honestly. It just didn't have enough content to keep me interested at one point. Because I would play it like how I do my MMOs now. Like I would just play it when I had nothing else to play, or it would be like that game you always come back to, but it's since been replaced. So I'd like to say that one day I come back and play it again, but I really don't know. But you'll have to let me know how the new expansion is, Mr. Optic Dragon.
I think you mean
It does look cool. No, sorry. I whoops.
Whoops. Whoopsie.
Excuse me.
You know who talked me out of playing Destiny 2 again was Skill Up. Skill Up's always talking about Destiny 2, and then he didn't really elaborate on the state of it until his like Game of the Year video or like Worst Games of the Year video, and he's like, "It's great, it's awesome, it's cool, but I wouldn't recommend jumping in now." And he like elaborated on why you shouldn't. I was like, "Never mind, I'm not going to try it again."
Yeah.
So, because there's a part of me that's like, "Oh, I mean, I've played Destiny in a while. Maybe I'll try that again on PC." But
it's also one of those games, like if you have 5 or 6 people that you play games with like every night, Destiny would be a great game for you guys to play.
I think it's what breaks my heart, dude. Like none of us can really play games together all that often anymore. And that's why it's prevented me from playing games like that.
Yeah. True.
Shame.
Getting too old. Getting old sucks.
Yeah. Big Jake 23 writes in and says, "I just had a baby girl 3 months ago, so I won't get to play games for a long time. Not complaining about my girl, by the way, just a fact. I will have to miss out on new games for a while, but when the new Resident Evil or God of War comes out, I'm finding a way to play. What's the game for you? The one new game that you would make sure you play no matter what? Miss you, boys."
That's a good question. Probably God of War for me. I'm still just over the moon about that series right now. Even still, I think I would drop anything to play a new WoW expansion. Even still, even just to play through the story once. What story there is. What else though?
What was the question again?
What's one game, if you had to choose, that like you absolutely would do anything to play? You have to play it no matter what is going on in your life.
Oh, that's coming out?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I would have used to say Cyberpunk, but
Breath of the Wild 2.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting about that.
I would, like cut off my leg if I could play that early.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Right now, dude, I haven't even seen gameplay yet, but I have a good feeling Starfield's going to be pretty sick. I think when I see that game, I'm going to get that old excited feeling again for a Bethesda RPG. That could be one. And even without seeing Spider-Man 2 gameplay, I think inevitably I'm going to lose my mind out of hype for Spider-Man 2.
For sure.
So I think by the end of the year, we will see gameplay for that game, which I look forward to. I really think, like, I've had the utmost confidence that with how much they improve Miles Morales mechanically, even over the original Spider-Man on PS4, already goes to show that they're taking a massive leap with the second one. Whatever they're doing, I have a strong feeling it's going to be a massive leap in many ways. So it's a miracle in and of itself. Spider-Man is as good as it is, as their first attempt at a Spider-Man game is crazy. So I have the utmost confidence it's going to blow everyone's minds. And I meant to tell you, this is kind of cool as well. It's funny too. I gave Zach's dad my original PS4 back in the day because I thought it stopped working. I was like, well, if it worked, every now and then it works. If it works, that's great. You can just have it. I gave it to Zach, and then Zach gave it to his dad. Well, it turns out that PS4 is totally fine. Zach's dad's played a ton of exclusives over the years and loved it, which is awesome.
That's cool.
But he also has Spider-Man. And every time Zach or Andy were at his parents' house, he'd tell me like, "Oh yeah, we play a little Spider-Man at my dad's or my parents' place." I'm like, "Oh, cool." So Christmas goes by, and we're catching up, talking about Christmas. He's like, "Yeah, dude, we were, blah 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 blah," and we played some more Spider-Man. It's just so much fun. I just wish I had a PS4 to play that. It's like, yeah, man. I was like, man, I was like, I'd buy you a PS5 if I could. I mean, if they're like just not available in most places right now. And then I was on the phone with him, and I looked down and realized I had a PS4 Pro just sitting there. Like, completely forgot I have this thing because I haven't touched it since the PS5 came out. I was like, dude, holy crap. You can have my PS4 Pro. It's like, and I already have Spider-Man installed on it. And he's like, what? So I gave him my Pro a while back, and he's since beaten Spider-Man. And he's in the middle of all the DLC right now, and he's just completely in love with it. And I knew he would be if he had the chance to play it, and which I think is just awesome. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I was like, as soon as you're done, because I bought Miles Morales and PS5, I was like, as soon as you're done with that, let me know. I'm going to buy you Miles Morales. You have to play Miles Morales right after
I
that.
love Miles Morales so much.
Me too. Yeah, I mean, I love Spider-Man PS4, but something about Miles Morales I just think is better in many ways. So I am excited for him to play that. But I'm hoping, I doubt it. Zach's obviously he's busy with work. He's a husband. He's about to be a father to 2 children. Like he has even less time than I do. So he may or may not explore more PlayStation games, but I'm hoping he does. If there's one he's interested in, I'll just buy it for him to play because I feel like there's obviously so many exclusives he's missed out on over the years.
Just go ahead and buy him Persona Royale.
Right, yeah, that's the one for sure. His dad still hasn't played God of War, and I'm like, his dad loves The Last of Us. His dad loves Uncharted. I know those games aren't necessarily the same, but Last of Us, in some ways, thematically, is like God of War, and I think he'd really love the father-son dynamic because he has 2 sons. So I'm like, man, your dad's got to play God of War.
Definitely.
So speaking of that, do you guys have any interest in trying that on PC? Because I keep hearing it's awesome.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, it runs really, really well on PS5. So I'm like,
if
I don't really
it was
have a
like
reason.
$10, but I don't want to buy a full game just to be like, yeah, dude, that runs really good.
Yeah, I got 100 more frames, and I'm playing it with a wider FOV. It's sick.
Yeah.
For me, really to replay any game, it needs to have like new features. Like for example, Persona 5 Royal. I need like something there to like make it a little different, a little new.
Dude, that game still haunts me. I'm going to be honest with you. It still haunts me. I'm like, there's just like 10% of me. It's like, just play the damn game, dude.
Yes.
Because I recognize how phenomenal it is.
That's me in your head talking to you.
I know. My problem is I told you every time I play it and get in the groove, I'm like, man, I love this. And then I realize I'm like, I'm living a digital life right now.
It's okay. Everything I'm doing, give into it.
Everything I'm doing is something I should be doing right now. I'm working out in the game. I'm going to work out in real life. I'm making coffee in the game. I can be making coffee in real life.
That's just like 5 seconds of the game, though. That's giving you stat boosts for the actual palaces.
Speaking of which, if you treat real life like an RPG, which that's basically what life is, I mean, think about every time I work out, I'm leveling up my dexterity. Every time I'm making coffee, I'm getting better. Like, because I make pour over coffee just like he does in the game. So every time I did it in the game, I was like, well, now I want to do that in real life. So
what's your point?
It's just for something about it just like messes with me neurologically. It's like I can't fathom like doing all that in a game when I should be doing it in real life. It's like in any other game, it's an escape. Like I know that game's very much an escape too in many ways. In very many ways.
I mean, I would say 99% of the game is completely unrealistic.
I know it is. It's just there's still like some part of it's like this is too similar to what I do day to day compared to like in Halo, I'm shooting aliens, or in God of War, I'm fighting Norse gods and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah. But believe me, that game still haunts me.
I don't know. I personally
awesome.
think like Persona has a good balance of, the gameplay. Like then you have all the going to the school. Then you have like, your free time in the game. I just think it has like a nice balance to it overall. I never really found myself.
You don't have
the ultimate game to wind down to. I think
you don't have as good a soundtrack in real life that's following you around.
That's very true, man. I can't.
Well, that's debatable. You could put your AirPods in.
Yeah, you could just
always keep them in.
Listen to the soundtrack as you go about life. Then, yeah.
Dude, that was my favorite music to play in between sets at the bars I used to work at. I mean, I don't think anyone in the room knew what it was, but everyone was just jamming to the Persona 5 soundtrack, dude. It was amazing.
Wait,
love that.
Which one? Or did you just play like different songs?
Yeah, different songs, but mainly Life Will Change. People like were grooving to that tune, dude. That was awesome. Anyway. What do we do?
I don't know what question.
Yeah, we mentioned the games we wanted to play. Big Colt, who farted?
Me.
I probably did too. I've been farting a lot the last few days.
I've been farting a lot, but I can't smell them at all. So
it's
I don't
COVID.
know if. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the COVID, man. They're probably rancid.
Oh, they are they are 100% rancid. I know for a fact.
Smell fine to me.
Big Colt, always an honor, my friend. Thanks for writing in. Carlos Perez Jingles still got his Christmas name, writes and says, "Hey, all, welcome back. Missed you guys' voices. Speaking of the word missed, what is something you guys miss about each other, and if possible, make something happen to recreate that memory? Hope you guys have been well, and I hope to see many more episodes this year. That's easy for me. I think at the time we've talked about this for years in the podcast, when we used to live together, it was just an awesome year. So a lot of good times in that apartment.
I'd have to agree.
I miss our Taco Bell dates, Garrett and Preston.
Same, man. I miss, even more so than that, I miss our big group of friends taking our trip to the local Taco Bell in QT and picking up all those snacks in Taco Bell and going back to Zach's parents' house or my parents' house and playing games all night long.
Imagine how much money we've fed into those businesses.
Oh, dude. Thousands, easily.
For years.
Thousands. I miss those times deeply. So, and it's something, I can always feel the burn in my eyes when I think about it for many different things. But there's like a last time you did something with someone or a group of people and you didn't realize it was the last time.
Yeah.
Like there's a last time we all played like Halo 3 together on the original servers. I thought about that today with the server shutting down. We didn't know it was the last time. There's a last time we all went to QT and Taco Bell together for the last time, didn't realize it. Stuff like that always gets me emotionally when I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. But hey, we can go to Taco Bell again.
Yeah. Even the nights where we
can.
go over to Evans and play FIFA in his basement, because we did that for years too. There was a last time we were all there together at the same time.
I think that last time, when was that last time? Is it Zach's bachelor party?
It may have been, because I don't remember going back there too many times after that.
I mean, I've been there since then, but I don't know if you have. So,
anything else on your minds?
Yeah, I miss our Diablo apartment days. I can't describe to you how much fun I had playing Diablo.
I would love to
MacBook
relive
Pro.
that with a new Diablo. If it
Dude,
ever
I had
comes out.
fun. I called out of work for a whole week just to play Diablo.
You had the worst setup, Preston.
Yeah.
Jacob, I was telling you, I'd dabble in Diablo 3 again for fun on PC if you wanted to.
Oh, God. Why?
Just for fun. Like, it's a fun game.
Why don't we play the new, 2?
Yeah, did y'all ever play 2?
Oh, no, I would also do that if you wanted to.
Actually, I don't know if I'd rather play 3, actually, I think. 2's kind of jank. Then you'd have to buy a new game. I don't know.
That's true.
This doesn't seem that fun to me, I'm going to be honest. Like, I think going back to 3 would be more fun.
I mean, I would play 3 and just, even if we played like for a few nights and didn't go back to it, I'd still do that with you.
Yeah. I really just want 4 to come out. Will you guys play 4 with me?
Absolutely, dude. I'm definitely anticipating
I'm playing
that.
4, 100%.
I still follow their updates. Seems like the game's moving along nicely.
That's good.
And they announced a
Miraculously.
class that I really want to play.
What class?
The Rogue.
Rogue. Yeah, rogues. That's you.
Yeah.
You're like
I heard
born
of,
and bred to be a rogue, dude.
I heard of another class that would probably suit you even better. It's called the Loser class.
Yeah. I think you're right. That really does suit me.
Moving on.
It's funny. I haven't heard them announce that one yet. Guess I missed it.
Victor Swedberg writes in and says, Kena Bridge of Spirits? Have you guys played it? Opinions on the new Spider-Man?
What?
Two and one there. Kena Bridge of Spirits, yes. Preston and I have played it.
Yes, it's fun. And then yes, Spider-Man is going to be good.
I think he means the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, loved the movie.
Love
very
the
much.
movie too. That's great.
I think it looks cool. The movie.
Yeah, the movie fully delivered for me. I'll say that.
I think there's some cool reveals that have been spoiled for me in the movie.
Yeah, unfortunately. And you're probably going to end up seeing it, Jacob, when you have no crowd reaction, so it's probably not going to be nearly as thrilling.
Yeah, I think it's still going to be cool though.
I mean, it was like going to the Super Bowl again for me when I saw it. Like seeing
My
Endgame
theater was
again.
packed, but nobody did anything.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I was like the only person making noise.
Man, I guess.
mean, to have made as much money as that movie has had, it has to be really good.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it twice
That's
opening
great.
weekend, so a lot of the people obviously were seeing it for the first time. But maybe when you saw it, Preston, maybe those people had all seen it once or twice already.
Perhaps. I mean, it was I think like a week and a half or 2 weeks after it came out, so could be.
Yeah, it was an awesome theater experience for me. Let's see. Yeah, Kane is cool. I'll go back to that eventually, but I've only played a little bit of it.
Is her
Edward
name
Richards.
Kenna?
Yeah, I think it's pronounced Kana, Bridge of Spirits. Kana's her name, yeah.
Excuse me.
I've been corrected too, don't worry. Edward Richards writes in and says, "Hey guys, ducking, fantastic to see you back. Really just wondering to see what you're looking forward to in 2022 in games or just in life in general." This is actually a really good segue into what I want to talk about. Because whenever a podcast drops, it's often a highlight of the week. Just a huge thanks and a happy new year from the Southeast England. Heading to the States again in mid-February. Great to hear from you guys, and I hope life is treating you well. Edward, that is incredibly kind, my friend. Thank you for the encouragement and writing in all the way from East England. Southeast England.
Yes, thank you, brother. And duck you.
Yeah, thanks for what's the word I'm looking for? Censoring that for me. You know, I try to refrain from cussing on the podcast these days, so I appreciate that.
I saw ducking, and it reminded me of what I named my Golduck on Pokemon Diamond. I named it Duck You.
Nice. What are you guys looking forward to in 2022? In games or in life?
New job, new residency.
With me? Me?
Oh, hopefully, yeah.
But you,
if you're still
the
down.
Dragonborn. Me?
I forgot about those videos.
That's a deep cut reference if anyone knows what I'm talking about. Hopefully with me, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Summer 2022. End of May.
Yes.
If you can hold out that long.
We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, that's going to be here before we know it. We're almost in
It kind
February.
of depends like how far away my job is from where I currently am.
I will be remaining in the city of Atlanta for this foreseeable future.
Okay.
Within the perimeter.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. Those are the things I'm most looking forward to.
Cool.
Mine's
what about you, Poobah?
Breath of the Wild 2, for sure.
That's good. I hope it comes out this year.
I mean, I'm excited for a lot of stuff game-wise this year, but above all, that is what I'm excited for.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the Falcons to go undefeated.
Yeah, good one.
In your dreams, pal.
Yeah, literally.
Life in general and games. Games for me, Breath of the Wild is definitely up there for me. Of course, all the other ones we talked about in the news, excited for. I'm excited to see Halo Infinite drastically improve. It just blows my mind that game released in such a poor state. And that's being a little harsh, but there are some like glaring issues that just blow my mind. They made their way past alpha and beta phases into the full release. I'm like, goodness gracious. Hopefully that improves this year because it has potential to be a just truly phenomenal multiplayer experience. Even campaign can improve with expansions and DLC over time, but I look forward to seeing how 343 manages to improve that game this year. Starfield, like I mentioned, is highly anticipated. I still believe in Bethesda Game Studios very much. So excited for that. Life in general, a goal of mine at the end of this year. I don't really have any New Year's resolutions other than just maintaining the awesome work experience I've had over the last year and a half with the guys I work with. It is truly a God-ordained experience or a God-ordained opportunity to both work alongside and learn from the guys I work with every day. So I want to maintain that, and we've already begun doing bigger and better and more exciting and challenging projects as both individuals and as a team. So I want to maintain that, of course. I want to shoot more with others as well, and it looks like an opportunity is on the horizon for that, which I'm excited about. But more, even beyond just the work aspect, I have a desire to, and this is going to sound bizarre at first, but stick with me. I want to invest in myself more financially than I have in recent years. And by that, I mean acquiring my own gear for work. Because I mean, film generally, especially the kind of work we do, we all, to some degree, own our own equipment, but we also rent a lot, which is very commonplace in the line of work we do.
Where do you rent from?
Just different people. Like ShareGrid is like basically Airbnb for film equipment. depending on what city you're in. You can rent from local people. You can rent from other companies. So
That's cool.
we rent and use a lot of our own gear, but I want to own some of my own gear as well. And the only reason I haven't invested in my own gear is because, one, it's insanely expensive for like one thing. So to get even one piece of really good gear that is pertinent to the kind of work we do is just a huge investment. And the only thing that's prevented me, sadly, is my massive student loans I have every month are just a massive part of what I have to pay for every month on top of just general life bills. So because of that, it's hard for me to like just blow money on something that I could very much use every day in my line of work. But it's a goal of mine I'm praying that the Lord provides me even more work that will enable me to invest in gear that isn't just like a short-term investment that really will stick with me for the long term. So that's a goal of mine, and prayer is that I have more work that will enable me to do that. And the other life thing I was going to say is I still, something I wanted to mention, I think I even mentioned in our post about questions, we had some exciting news. Maybe it's more exciting individually, but I think even the three of us, in spite of our varying schedules, are excited about this potential. But I've always obviously cared very much about It's Obvious Gaming. I mean, we started it together. We wouldn't be doing this podcast years later. I think was it 6 or 7 years now down the road? I think this February will be 7 years, right? Since 2015.
It doesn't even seem real.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. We're coming up on a decade of this. It's unreal.
Obviously,
also
more
kind of sad
more
because
consistent at some times than others.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to get at, is that there was a time where we were climbing this ladder, growing steadily, but we obviously fell off a cliff because, as everyone who listens to this podcast knows, life happens. I mean, some of you are married, some of you have children, some of you have very demanding jobs. I know you understand where we're coming from when we say not only are we all busy, but we're all individually busy. Our schedules conflict constantly, especially Preston's, because Preston's career has really taken off to a point where like his work demands much more of his time and energy. So it's very difficult for the three of us to get together.
I can't tell you how many times like we've tried to record the podcast in the last 3 months where we haven't had an episode and we just couldn't get together.
And the biggest factor is that Jacob and I usually can do it, but the problem is, if Preston can't be here, it's very hard for us to say it's even worth doing, because It's Obvious Gaming is the three of us. Like, it just is not the same when it's just two of us, which we still enjoy doing it when it's just either Preston and I or Jacob and I, or even rarely it's been just Jacob and Preston. We still have a good time and care about it, but it just isn't It's Obvious Gaming without the three of us. All that being said, we still very much care about It's Obvious Gaming and would love to see it thrive. But I've invested a lot of my extra time and energy games-wise into COG Connected over the last however many years it's been. Now, I've been with COG since 2017. So I'm so bad. 5 years? Is that how long it's been? 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. Yeah, about 5 years coming up on. And I still love COG to death. Everyone involved with COG Connected is incredible. And I'm very, very proud of a lot of the work I've done with them. But things seem to be changing a bit at COG. And I think it's a good time for me to reevaluate where I invest my extra time and energy into games-related content. And obviously, the main reason I've always contributed to COG is because I love everything they do. And I very much believe in it and care about their website and their growth and their success. But it was also like getting my foot in the door of the games industry. I've very much, in a freelance perspective and role, been a part of the industry for the last 5 years and met many people to some degree, especially with PR folks, have built somewhat of a relationship with. And there's still a part of me. I think the Lord has already made it clear to me that line of work is not for me full time, but I don't think it's wrong of me to still very much have a passion for it. I mean, some of the most fun I've ever had doing work in my life has been for COG Connected. So, I mean, I'd love to still have an opportunity in that world to some degree, but I'd much rather invest my extra time and energy into It's Obvious Gaming, which is something I've built with two of my best friends. So that being said, and Preston can probably, if he feels like he can elaborate on this more, but Preston doesn't have nearly as much time as Jacob and I do right now. So that's not saying like, bye, Preston. Preston's leaving. That's not what's happening. But Jacob and I have a goal to either weekly or bi-weekly get back on track with the podcast, because we love it to death. But whether Preston can be with us, there will be weeks Preston can be with us. There will be other weeks he cannot. But we want to carry it on because we love it and we want to maintain it consistently like we used to. And on top of that, I want to make the level of videos I've made for COG, but for It's Obvious Gaming. And that will begin with games that we're playing along with you guys when they come out, because we don't have access to games early. But I want to do reviews for stuff like Horizon, God of War, any other games that really matter to us. And I'm not going to like review every game that's coming out. I have no time to do that. But games that are really important to us, I'd love to do reviews and really more my own style, because doing stuff for COG, it has to be a specific way. There's a lot of freedom with COG too, but I think doing it for It's Obvious Gaming, I can very much do it the way I feel like doing it. Same for Jacob. So whether we're doing like a Let's Play commentary type video, you can expect that in the future. Really in-depth analysis videos, if I have the time and energy to do that, you can expect that. You can expect feature videos. You can expect just not necessarily reaction videos, but comments on new trailers and stuff from time to time. Just more consistent content on the channel. I'm thinking probably a video or two once every couple of weeks. It's not going to be anything crazy. Like we used to do a podcast every week and like 3 Let's Plays. Just don't have the time like that anymore. But we still love It's Obvious Gaming. We want to see it continue to grow and thrive, possibly to a point where we can do something a little more legit by the end of the year. I think another goal of mine is to see It's Obvious Gaming grow a little bit more and also have opportunities in the industry itself. So that's a goal of ours this year. And I wanted to announce that on the podcast for those wondering who's even listening at this point of this podcast, that that's a goal of ours. It will definitely start out slow, and there will probably be times where we feel a little discouraged because our YouTube channel is essentially dead in the water. Like no one interacts with that content whatsoever. But it's not outside of the possibility for it to come alive again if we're consistent and really pour our hearts and souls into it. So it sounds like I'm talking about a lot, like it's about to be this explosion of content. It won't be that. I think realistically it will be a podcast bi-weekly and an additional video bi-weekly as well. So maybe a couple videos every month.
Yeah,
but
a few videos a month. Yeah,
that's the goal for sure. So wanted to share that on this episode. I know it's kind of random and just out of nowhere, but
so is uploading an episode of the podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, for anyone wondering, we still love It's Obvious Gaming. Want to see it continue to grow to some capacity, and yeah, that's what you can expect. That's our goal. So I was excited to share that. And Preston, if there's anything you want to add, just for the sake of context on your end, you're more than welcome to do so.
Yeah. I mean, I think just the just more context to why I'm busy is I'm just accepting a lot more roles at my work that involve me to do more things than I'm currently doing. Like I'm essentially taking 2 positions at the same time. So I'm got to figure out a way to balance both of those jobs, along with me being out of town for potentially long lengths of time, like I was out of town this past year. So it's just kind of hard for me to be able to commit a set amount of time because my schedule just can vary so wildly. So basically all I can say is when I do have time and can contribute, I would like to do so.
For sure.
And hopefully the goal with my job is to eventually stop traveling. And when that does happen, then I probably would be able to commit to a set schedule and kind of see what we can do at that point. Hopefully that point comes very soon, but that involves finding somebody to replace me to go out of town, and that's just pretty hard to do at this point.
Yeah.
So it's hard to find anybody to do anything right now.
Yeah.
Very understandable.
Yeah,
everyone's struggling.
Sure. So yeah, that's just a little context with what's going on with me.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for providing that context. So yeah, I don't want anyone to think we're like, F Preston, he's out. Like that's not at all the situation. I very, very deeply wish that all 3 of us could do it as often as we used to. We just,
I
can't.
I guess what I will say is that if there are podcasts with just y'all 2 or any of us 2, or if just one person, it's not because somebody left or doesn't want to do it. It's just what can be done at that time.
Totally.
So
yeah, that's a good way to say it.
And I think we'd still really like to have guests on the podcast.
Totally. Yeah, I was just about to say that.
When, I think we've had Kyle on, we've had Sam Harris on a couple times. I think we've had Carlos as well. So if that's something that you guys want to keep doing, or you want to keep hearing, or you want to actually participate yourself, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to talk with you and see if that's something that we could do in the future.
Absolutely. So I hope that interests someone, and we'll always announce, because I know, honestly, I'd say the vast majority of people that listen to this podcast only listen to the audio version. So we'll always announce if we have like new videos in the YouTube channel. I think the very least you could do for us in terms of just hopefully garnering more attention towards the channel again is just simply, even if you don't comment, just like any video we post, even if it's like the stupidest thing ever, just like give it a like would help us a lot, I think, long term. So that'd be much appreciated. But yeah, I wouldn't expect a video for probably another week or two, other than the podcast. But that's what you can expect in the coming months is more content from us. So hopefully Jacob and I doing more stuff together like we used to, because I've always had a good time making Let's Plays with, of course, all three of you. But Jacob and I have really cranked out a buttload of Let's Plays together over the years. So anything like that, it probably wouldn't be like generic YouTube, like 2014 style Let's Plays anymore. But to some degree, we'll do some gaming together as well for fun. So, yeah. But we got one more question after all of that. And I think it's just in classic It's Obvious Gaming fashion. We couldn't end in a better way after a long spiel like that. Where'd it go? I lost him. Oh, you deleted him. Thanks.
Yeah, Jacob. I deleted all the ones we answered.
Okay. I've always, forgive me, man, I always forget how to properly say this. Obviously it's not a full name, but it's
don't ask me.
Ron's G. It says, what are the worst and best underwater levels you've played? Worst for me is Sekiro, mainly because they freaked me out. Best, Donkey Kong Country for that buttery soundtrack. Those are good mentions.
Wait, I don't even remember Sekiro's underwater.
I'm trying to remember.
They had that?
I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure you can swim underwater in that game. From what I just played it recently too.
I mean, you're probably.
Oh yeah. I think he's talking about those fish and like the lake that can attack you when you're swimming around.
Oh God! Oh, you remember that part? Scales. You remember when like that water that was underneath that bridge that you crossed that one time, and then the snake attacked you on the bridge?
Yeah.
I always hated that water because that snake was down there at one point, and he would terrify me.
Dude, that game kicks so much ass. I love Sekiro, dude. Man, that game's awesome. That's what I'm hoping going in. Not to go on a huge tangent, but Elden Ring looks like it's combined a lot of the elements from everything they've made so far and just placed it in what seems to be a very engaging, interesting open world. So there's so much potential with Elden Ring. I really hope it pays off. But one thing I will miss, unless there's certain weapon types or builds of characters that play a little more like the combat in Sekiro, I will miss that, because I think that was such a massive step forward in terms of the combat in their games. It made it so much more engaging and demanding on the player moment to moment versus like even Bloodborne and Dark Souls. As much as I enjoy those games, I think the combat is just such a degree higher in Sekiro compared to the other two. Mm-hmm. But
that would be cool if there was like a samurai class in Elden Ring that played similarly.
And you can like counter and stuff like you did in the other one.
Yeah.
That would be cool, because I mean the dodging and stuff is whatever at this point, but I really felt like that was a huge step up for them as a studio, but we will see. I'm hoping Horizon Forbidden West has some amazing underwater gameplay, because that's a bold move, man, because water traditionally is very hit or miss, and mostly miss with games.
It's always almost
At
always
least
miss.
It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
Looks
I'm hoping it's
incredible.
Actually fun. Because most everything else in Horizon is fun. I mean, I feel like when obviously it launched alongside Breath of the Wild and already felt dated compared to the traversal in Breath of the Wild, but and especially climbing. But it seems like they've made some pretty interesting additions to that. So I'm hoping underwater gameplay is as fun.
At least there's no like breath meter. Since
totally, I hate that crap. Dude.
Yeah, so I think it'll be serviceable. I
mean, I can already imagine it'd be kind of cool to like go underwater and find a cave And there happens to be some robotic creature in there you have to kill and get like some cool rare bow or something in there.
Why would a robotic creature have a bow?
No, these there'd be like treasure inside there. Like you kill a big monster, like sea monster inside a underwater cave you swim into.
Kill a big
cool
robot squid and yank out a
robot squid,
a bowstring from its tentacle.
From its tentacle, yeah. Maybe there's like a piece inside the brain or like some part of its body that you can steal to like upgrade a piece of gear. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
Anyway, that was episode 265 of the It's Obvious podcast. Thank you to all of you who wrote in at the last minute to provide us questions. That is always our favorite part of the podcast, and very much look forward to hearing from you guys on Discord. I'm always on Twitter. I don't know how many people listen to this podcast enjoy engaging on Twitter, but it was the funniest thing.
I'm always on Twitter too.
I had a feeling no one would respond to what I had to say, but I said it anyway because I was bored. But I commented on a scene from Amazing Spider-Man 1 and like poured my heart into those tweets, and no one responded to it, which I fully expected. So thankfully I wasn't shocked by that. But I was like, I'm pretty sure no one cares at all about what I have to say about this, but I said it anyway. But Jacob and I both are on Twitter, so
I'm on Twitter an unhealthy amount, to be honest.
Same, dude. My brain gets fried every day by Twitter, but something about it keeps me coming back. Anywhere on social media. I'm not on Facebook anymore, so I can't engage there. But Discord, Twitter will be there. Instagram too. I mean, I would be more active on the It's Obvious Instagram if people wanted to engage there. But
got a lot of responses today for your story post.
Yeah, that was very helpful. So we appreciate that. But yeah, excited to be back. I know it was a long time, but thank you to everyone who's always tuned in, of course, in the past, tuning in now, and encouraged us along the way, especially with long stints of us being absent. We really appreciate. And it's because of you guys. Like I said, we said from day one, man, if you guys didn't engage with what we do, we would have never made it nearly 7 years, which is crazy. So
it really is.
Love you all to bits, and very much excited for the goals and desires we have for this year for our content. So hope you enjoyed the episode, and we hope you guys have an awesome start to your year with your friends, family, work, and hit us up anytime if you want to just talk. I know at least some parts of the day, Jake and I both can talk on Discord or Twitter, wherever, like I said. So
yeah, I'm always on Discord. Everyone knows that. That's
hit us up, bruh. But that's it for me, boys. You got anything else to add?
Just want to say happy 2022, I think it is, and we'll see you guys very soon.
Yes.
That's what I needed to hear.
And cut.
Yes. All right, gentlemen, that's a wrap, and we'll catch you all next time.
Bye-bye.